Okay, it's day 97. This is part one, and I just want to go through the timeline of this video I did yesterday. It not only includes, at about the 7-minute mark, an analysis of the 99-page video that Alex Jones broke as breaking news yesterday, but it also talks about kind of this timeline of events here, and I'll get to the task force beating and then the collapse of Deep Frisco. So first of all, remind yourselves that there's 20 burglaries at the house. Okay, it starts with 20 burglaries. Now, two of his staffers, Imran Awan and Hina Alvi, and his other staffer, who's named McCluskey, have been involved in this server with 7,000 illegal logins. We don't know that it's connected with Operation Cassandra, which is the drug operation in Northern Virginia, but we do know it's connected with Imran's car dealership, CIA car dealership, and his Hijraj mosque. Okay, that's for starters here. Again, there's 20 burglaries. It's being stifled by the Capitol Police. And then we know that this person, who's the Attorney General of California, makes the unprecedented move of falsifying evidence, destroying evidence, and providing a false copy to the Capitol Police. Usually people who are innocent don't commit felonies. There's no reason to. The only reason you'd commit a felony like that is to protect a much larger felony and a much larger ring. Okay, that's where our starting point was. That's when I went on the road in April. Okay, I immediately found the hard drives that could be associated with this server, and again later we find out that he had indeed Debbie Wasserman Schultz's computer at the Rayburn office building on April the 10th, I believe it was, and removable hard drives. Now, I didn't find the hard drives at his house with Andre Taggart until 4 days later. Okay, but we're hot on the trail here. So as far as April goes, we were very close on this laptops and server situation, and it probably was, again, the 7,000 illegal login server. Why would you destroy the hard drives of something that had your kids' pictures on it? You would, though, if there was 7,000 illegal logins and was connected with Operation Cassandra, you would destroy it. So again, behavior leading us in that direction. We know the FBI has said there's thousands of suspicious activity transfers to Pakistan and terabytes going to Pakistan. Again, we know Amjad Awan ran a similar operation in the house of with these same people 25 years ago, with this same kind of separatist group, this Kashmir separatist group, which is this key funnel point to drug traffic in China and also uranium. Now, at that time, I introduced Uranium-1. About that time, I can't remember, Deep Uranium, excuse me. And he had said that there was this uranium rat line which provided color of law for drug operations. He is worked with the alphabet agencies, and he's worked with a group of an echelon group of 6 to 8 people. It changes over time, that worked the rat line of the uranium rat line through Kyrgyzstan. He's the one who told me that PAC-ISI was the one who recruited Uzbekis to run the rat lines. He told me about all the airports, the secret airports and so forth, and explained to me how the yellow cake, works with, I don't think he said yellow cake at that time, but it was how the uranium kind of provides the cover for this, for these 9-core flights and all this stuff, and how it gets to Uzbekistan, and then how Uzbekis truck it down to the Port of Qasim. Now again, Imran works at the Port of Qasim. His father works for the Punjabi police that would cover that area on the road from Punjab down to Sindh, where the Port of Karachi is. So again, we have a lot of information leading us to this drug operation, okay, and these servers. The second piece, though, was I had taken this kind of 6-week trip through gathering all the evidence after I got to Washington, D.C., and I had gone to Clarksburg, West Virginia, where I thought the uranium was. I had speculated to that effect. I had met Deep Uranium for the first time in June, on June 14th, or 15th, excuse me, and we spent a long time together, and he's just a great man, and he had said, hey, it's going to be uranium. Uranium is the key to this whole story. This is the deal. Uranium is the cover for drugs. Now, I was going to visit someone to try to put this story together. I was trying to put the uranium piece of the story, together with the drugs part. The uranium was the Piketown gas diffusion plant. I was almost to the Piketown plant, and I was almost to the drug side of the story, which was the 8 rodents that were murdered in an industrial drug operation. I was always also looking into a police force informant, a police officer who had been a police officer who was informing me that this was an industrial drug operation in Piketown, and the uranium gas diffusion plant in Piketown had shut down in 2010 unexpectedly. It was a big hit economically to the town, and I wanted to go talk to people there. There was a second informant I thought was involved with that case or with that plant that I was trying to meet when I was lured out that night from the hotel, and with the parallel construction. Now, let's bring in task force, and then we'll get to Deep Frisco. Task force is a law enforcement officer involved in over 10 years in undercover work and drug operations, working with the DEA and task forces and so forth. She knows what she's talking about. She knows what gangs are. She has 4 norteños waiting in a gated community, lying in wait till she gets to her home. She's attacked at her door. She fights them off. They steal her keys. They beat her. As they're beating her, they say, "Shut the F up. Shut the F up." As all 4 men are beating her, they're yelling, "Shut the F up." Now, for me, that's very much in keeping with destroying the server. You're trying to tell somebody, "Shut the F up." Otherwise, they wouldn't say, "Shut the F up." They would say, "Give me your money, give me your keys, give me your car," right? They were saying, "Shut the F up." It's the verbal equivalent of giving somebody a false image of a server. It's trying to shut up a witness. Now, she's brutally beaten. She goes out, after they steal her car keys, they try to go get her car. She is fighting the ringleader over her keys at her car. She finally gets beaten again where she loses her car keys. They steal her car. They try to get out one gate, and then they back up, and then they completely destroy a gate driving through a fence to get out, to escape. Helicopters come, etc. This is a big deal. So this is the crucible the lens I'm looking at things for. Now, to yesterday, last night, I receive a call, 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m., I don't know when. Call comes in, Deep Frisco is in the emergency room. I'm like, okay, I don't know what's going on here. I don't know if this is a prank call or whatever. I immediately text her, Deep Frisco. It says phone number not answering. Phone number, and I published that to Twitter. I'll put a paste of it. Oh, here it is, right here. I published it to Twitter. It says AT&T subscriber you're trying to reach not available, not available, not available. I only know that Deep Frisco lives within 150 miles of Becerra. I only know that Task Force had talked about this beating with Becerra, with Camilla Harris, who's a good friend of Becerra, a day before. Now she was very nice. I was nowhere near them, but she was very nice when she talked about it. Is this a reprisal? The first thing I thought in my mind is, oh my God, this is a reprisal from Camilla Harris to Becerra. That's how they got her name, because people came running over and got her name. I immediately thought it was another task force reprisal against yet another great researcher from the Bay Area. That's the first thing I thought of. Okay, and when I saw this, I had no idea. Again, I don't follow my brother's channel. I don't talk to my brother. Someone said that she came forward on another channel and identified herself. How do I possibly know that's who that is? That another person came forward and called me on my phone and is saying that she's a health professional representing Deep Frisco. How do I know who that is? Task Force advised me, get the officer number, get the badge number, get the HIPAA agreement number that says we can discuss this kind of information. Or I'm available 24 hours a day to talk about it here. But it's a rumor that she collapsed. I immediately thought of, I've seen this type of collapse 3 times before. It's a vasovagal syncope. It happened to my ex-girlfriend that I dated for 10 years when she was on a date with another guy. It happened with that same girlfriend when we've been on vacation in Mexico twice. With the third woman that we've been with, it happened to 2 other women that we were with, where people get up from the dinner and then they collapse. So it seems like a signature. I don't know what the operation, I don't know what the signature is, but it just seems like this vagal syncope collapse is some kind of signature. People hit their head, they hit their face, they injure themselves very, very badly. And I don't know I don't know if it's a Hillary, low intensity thing. I have no idea if it's an FBI low intensity thing. it just seems to happen over and over again, the collapse thing. So that's all the information I have. Again, I don't know. Her real name. It's a very common name. I assume it's a pseudonym. And again, I only know she lives within 150 miles of Becerra. I can't call with under. I can't call the name that I believe is a prenome to every hospital over 150-mile area in San Francisco. And I don't believe they'd give me I don't believe they would give me her name and medical information anyway, because I'm not a relative. But anyway, I will keep up to date. As the rumors come in, that's all I can do is just feed the information back. But again, if you go back and look at the timeline, it all makes sense. Becerra, the felony, blocking, why block for the felony? Because you've done a felony that's worse with a gang or a ring that's worse. Operation Cassandra happens in the backyard where the Imran is with his car dealership, his mosque. Okay, he is married to Hina Avi. I'll use Omar's picture here, or excuse me, Abid's picture here to represent that, if it really is Abid. So he has hired the two MVPs of this case, okay, that are charged with bank fraud. Okay, this isn't something I'm making up. And the third person involved, I'll just use Javid's picture here from McCluskey, is also working for him, making $172,000. So I've seen this financial misuse by Becerra. I've seen his involvement in committing felonies to kill this server investigation, 20 burglaries. I've seen all of a sudden this phone goes dead with this subscriber. What else am I going to think?